I can't take it anymore. I can't do anymore. I can't do any more no reps. Age group qualifier. I can't do a single other one. I've been doing this for 10 hours now. All freaking day. I had like 3 of these things. 3. I'm not sponsored by him, but you know what? It's good. It's keeping me going. Andrew Hiller, out. Yo, I don't think there's any better time, and I tell myself to start these things when I'm kind of all riled up. I'm all riled up, so I get a little bit more aggressive, and I think that that's a good thing. I think you guys like that. Why am I so aggressive? Why am I so mad? I'm aggressive and mad because I've watched probably 150 videos. A lot of these videos are on the internet. I talked on the team quarterfinal how there wasn't very much footage of the teams doing their workouts. That is not the case for the age group qualifier. There's a bunch of stuff out there, and I've probably looked at a lot of them. And as I look at all of these clips, I see a lot of good. I see a lot of people who almost look as if they're slowing their movement down to make everything look really nice. There's a lot of people who you can tell have put the cameras in the right spots. They're doing everything they can to put up a good submission for their workouts, for their events. As I'm watching this and I've seen all of the good, it makes me even more upset about the bad. You see the bad. It looks like people are just kind of like whipping the camera around. They're not taking their time to put things together. They're wearing all black. That's a big thing. A lot of people are wearing all black and like, what the fuck? Do you think that we're stupid? Do you think that the people who at the CrossFit games are stupid? They're not going to notice that, oh, this person's wearing all black, so yeah, all of a sudden all of those pistols are to death. All black with a black background. What is it, like a green screen? And all of a sudden people can't realize what's going on behind you. They can't realize where your joints are. If anything, I think if you're wearing all black, everything should be a no rep all of a sudden because you're blurring the standards. You should be wearing like a fluorescent top and a different colored fluorescent bottom so you can see where everything hits. Should say no black in the rule book. Like you can't wear all black. So there are people out there who are doing stuff like wearing clothing that will hinder the judge's ability, the video review process's ability to look at their movement. And then there's also people out there who are doing everything they can to make sure they're doing everything right. And then there's people on Instagram who are trying to defend a video I already put up. A video of people who are doing pistols that look like shit and doing muscle ups that look like shit. And people are going, leave them alone. Leave the age group people alone. Stop treating the age group people like they're any different than anybody else. They're the exact same as everybody else. They're in a competition. There's a standard that there is to be held within the competition. And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
if they don't have the range of motion to do something, because there are people out there who have spent a lot of time and effort to get into those positions. So if somebody doesn't have good overhead positions and overhead mobility, they're missing one of the components of fitness. There's 10 components of fitness. One of them is flexibility. And if you don't have the flexibility, you don't have the fitness to do the event. That's just the way it works. You can't look at someone and say, you can't do overhead squats. You don't have the overhead mobility to get into the position. So all of a sudden, take it easier on them. They're 50, 60. They've been through more. They're not 30 like you. Take it easy on them. It's like, no, because there is some other 50, some other 60-year-old out there who has done everything they can to get into a better position. And they're not just going halfway so that they can get through the workout in the right amount of time. They're doing the full range of motion. And maybe they'll do a rep at a time, but their 1 rep at a time is 1 rep to standard. 1 rep to standard with all of the work put in, regardless of what you can do with your body at whatever age that you're at, is better than an entire workout of shitty repetitions because you're old, chalking it up to you're older. Like, that's bullshit. And what's even more bullshit is that there's an entire population of people now who are supporting this and saying it's okay and letting it go. Strive to be better. That's the entire thing. There's a standard. When you're competing in a sport with a bunch of other people in the world who are all holding the standard, and all of a sudden there's a handful of people who I'm going to bring up here who are either just not submitting videos properly or wearing black clothing or looking like they're skirting the standard just to get through the workouts, it's doing a disservice to the entire population of people who are doing it the right way. You're going to piss those people off. I know what it's like to be one of those people. I would do a workout back in the day and I would hold myself to a certain standard, and then you'd go on and I would look at the other elite people and say, why the fuck is it okay that they get... One of the worst things ever was, as the team, we were doing the team workouts, 2018. Our team was 5 points away from qualifying for the CrossFit games, and things that are as simple as you're in a lane, and if my foot was touching the right lane line's tape, every rep of a deadlift was a no rep. On one of those like 2-person deadlift bars, there's not much room. And when there's not much room, it's like, okay, my pinky toe may have been on the tape. It was. And that was against the rules, and I shouldn't have been doing it. But then you go back and you check the footage, and every other fucking team had their fucking feet on the line. We were in the final heat because we know we were in contention to qualify for the CrossFit games. We had to do 60 deadlifts, and when you're doing 60 deadlifts, rep, one after another, and the judge is calling no reps, and all of a sudden instead of doing 60, you gotta do 70, and you don't know why they're no repping you because you're going so quick. Deadlifts at 500 pounds between 2 people sucks. And then you go back and check the film later that night after the competition's over, and you see that every other team has feet on the line.
just such an incredible performance across 5 different workouts. The ground at almost exactly the same time, so really helps.
Event record for OC3 Black, #1 in the open.
And they're not getting no reps, they're just going ahead, and then their reps look even shittier, and it pisses you off. Pisses you off the same way I'm pissed off right now for these Masters athletes. There are people who are going to get screwed out of spots because there are people who are skirting the standards, watering down the leaderboard. CrossFit's not filtering every single score. We can't say that for sure, but we've seen it so far with workout number 3 in the individual quarterfinal. It's up to the world, to the community, to the judges. This is the judges' fault. It's the judges' fault big time. They can't just look at something and let it go. Yeah, that was to parallel. Good for you. It wasn't to parallel. It wasn't good. Let them fucking know. So before I get too long and too ranty here, I thought it was good to get this out of the way, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you every single thing that you want to see, every single clip that I've grabbed up to this point. Maybe I'll do a second one. I don't know, but this is pretty time consumptive. I've been doing it now already for 4 hours, and I haven't even started editing. So enjoy the stuff. I'll talk to you later. So we're going to talk about this quite a bit, but the individual is wearing all black, and they're wearing all black. Did they do it on purpose? Who knows? But we have to assume that they're probably doing it on purpose because we don't believe in coincidences. CrossFit Games is keen to the fact that everyone wears black, and it blurs their ability to see if you're hitting the movement standards. And in this individual here, you can see with the overhead squat now that they cannot hit depth with the overhead squat. They're also not extending on some of them. That might carry over to their pistols. They want to hide this. It's not coincidence. This is kind of what's happening. Here we have an individual who put the camera in the wrong spot. You can't see the calories on the rower. They didn't listen. There's one camera position there. In this example, you cannot see that the individual is getting their elbows through. Not that you can't see it, they're just not doing it. And if they're not doing it, then these repetitions shouldn't be counting. The judge over there is recording. She's not even freaking judging. She's just got her camera up. Like, what the hell is she doing over there? I don't know any of these individuals. I don't know the judge. I don't know the athlete. But I do know that those reps are not to depth. I know that they are doing the age group qualifier. And in the age group qualifier, with these repetitions, you have to get your hips below parallel. Not one single rep here was below parallel for this athlete in this workout here. When you take the judges course, they make it pretty clear that you have to have the athlete in the view the entire time. So this video is not valid just because the athlete is not in view, although the reps look good. In this next video, all of this athlete's reps also appear to be pretty good, but I don't know what type of camera they use. It's just something straight out of the 80s where it's dark as hell in this gym. It's dark as hell. She's wearing all black. When these things are taken into account, it really makes it tough to judge the video when they're sent in for the qualifier, which it is. This one. The athlete has the camera in the wrong spot. As you can see, the athlete eventually just lunges out of the camera altogether. When they lunge out of the camera altogether, you can't determine what they're doing over there. Then they go and they're doing these cleans in the wrong position with the wrong elbow coming through. So the elbows aren't coming through. Those reps don't count right there. On this next one, you can see that you can't see the pistol. So are they going below depth? You don't know. But because they're in the wrong spot, they got a bunch of crap in the way. You don't know what's going on. These muscle-ups, they might actually count because they hit a good lockout. Never mind, they don't hit a good lockout position. And they're also starting with their knees bent on this box. I've had questions about this before, and to be honest, as far as legs extended, legs not extended, who knows? But I do know that they don't hit a good top position. I do know that it looks like the weirdest thing ever. Don't make it look weird if you want to have a good score put in there. So what could be going wrong in this workout? Everything looks pretty good. Everybody's watching, but then you can't see anything. You can't see anything because this judge is just standing right in the way.
Something in the way, yeah.
Here's our video submission sticker that I keep on throwing up there. Is this sponsored by Amazon.com/military? So they put him here strategically, so all of a sudden you can't see any of the reps, but all you can think about is Amazon.com/military. Product placement, who knows? But what we do know is that this athlete, you can't see any of these toes to bar on this round. The judge clearly doesn't know what's going on. He should have been informed before. It's the judge and the athlete's problem to make sure that everything is going as well as it could be within your qualifier workouts. So this individual on both push presses has a little bit of a downward motion with the barbell before they go upward with it. It says in the rules that that is not allowed. That basically turns it into a push press. Both of those reps don't count. In this, which is grabbed off an Instagram story, you pan to the right, you see a bunch of no reps. You pan to the left, you see an athlete also having a bunch of no reps, not getting below depth on any of their squats. That's something that isn't looking good for this affiliate over here. Now, you have an athlete who doesn't appear to have very good control on top of the rings. And one of them, not so good. On a couple of the other ones, the lockout actually looks pretty good, but on a couple, definitely not showing good control on top of the rings. Here, this athlete, squat. It says squat, now squat. What it should say is squat lower, and none of those reps count. If we've learned anything over the past couple of weeks or even a month or so, it's that CrossFit needs to leave no stone unturned. They have to be incredibly clear on everything or they're going to be getting in trouble. And on workout number 2, it says that there's a tie break. It says there's a tie break and it doesn't have a tie break listed on the scorecard. If you have one and not the other, you're bound to have people missing that score. They're going to put in whatever they want on the .com when they're putting their scores in. This is a bad thing. You can see that this is something that they have done in the past when you look at 22.3. There's your tie break spot. There's your tie break spot. It just makes everybody who's going to overlook it, because people are going to overlook it, not overlook it, and they fuck that up. So the athlete in question here does not appear to be getting below depth on their overhead squats. On a rep or 2, they don't stand all the way up. It's probably because they have a poor overhead position, but that does not give them an excuse to not be doing the reps to standard. On their cleans, they don't appear to be getting their elbows through. They have the camera in the right position, so you can see that they're not getting their elbows through. If you want to know what it looks like to be getting your elbows through, go ahead and check out the athlete in the background. They know what they're doing. I don't know where this athlete's judge is. They're just doing the workout. This athlete right here, in their squat, in their garage, it appears, didn't get below depth. Didn't get below depth. That squat doesn't count. Doesn't matter how heavy it is. So this one is commonly overlooked. It's that in the United States and in North America, you're using pounds. 70 for the guys, 50 for the girls. When you go across the pond and you're over there, whatever continent you might have it, you got to use kilograms. And CrossFit has listed it as a 32.5 kilogram for the guys and a 22.5 kilogram for the ladies. I had somebody reach out telling me that most gyms over there have a 22.5 and a 30 kilogram dumbbell. CrossFit has it listed as you are to use at least 32.5 on the dumbbell over there, wherever you have your kilogram loaded weights. A 32.5 kilogram dumbbell over into pounds is 71.5 pounds. So if you are to be using a kilogram weighted dumbbell, it is technically 1.5 pounds heavier than the pound dumbbells. This individual said that everyone might just be using a 30 kilogram dumbbell because it's what's most easily accessible over there. I don't know much about that, but I do know that the conversions are off, and it does make the competition less fair when you are taking it into account that you will be using a kilogram loaded dumbbell. Okay, so last time I didn't report somebody that I had sent to me a bunch. I got burned. So this guy I had sent to me a bunch. It appears on those cleans he was not getting his elbows through. He's wearing all black. We've talked about all black. When you wear all black, you might be wondering if you're going to be hitting the movement standards. So on these pistols, on the one side you can't tell, that's not his fault, but it appears as if a couple of these he's not hitting depth. That one he was out of control as he stood up. I have a big question on these muscle ups. I don't know what's going on in the lockout. To me, it does not look like the elbows are extending on the lockout on any single one of these reps. There is a rep somewhere in here that I slow down. It appears as if he's getting a little bit higher on the rings. Remember, if you do a rep well, it makes every other rep that didn't go so well look even worse. I believe it's this one right here. So here we go. See how tall he gets on this rep, and then pushes away from the rings after achieving the lockout, but it makes all the other reps look worse. When we're on the topic of bad looking muscle ups, these are some of the worst I've ever seen. I don't know if this guy is actually in the competition, but those are some of the most atrocious locked out muscle ups I've ever seen in my life. Followed up with a couple of toes to bar by what appears to be a younger age group athlete. Some of them, that one didn't count right there in particular. That one didn't either. The judge just seems to say, okay, go ahead, keep going. And then we have a couple more at the end. That one looked okay. That one did not look okay, not at the same time. That one didn't touch at all. So next what we have is a difference in the varying ages in relation to the movements. And we know that masters athletes tend to have a little bit more trouble with certain movements as they get into the older age groups. One of those movements in particular is the pistol squat. And as you hit the age group of 55 to 59, it appears as if they say that you may now do a weighted box step up. The question happens is that when they use the word may, it means, can I still do pistols if I have the ability to do pistols? Maybe you can do them faster. It is up to you when you use the word may. I spoke to an athlete that reached out to CrossFit on CrossFit's end and said that, no, you are not allowed to do pistols. If you aren't allowed to do pistols, why would you use a word like the word may? May leaves it up for interpretation. If there aren't athletes out there who are asking these questions, they're going to read the word may, and you better damn well bet that they're going to be doing pistols. Pistols are faster than box step-ups. If you're good at pistols, doesn't matter what age you're in, and the athlete now who said that they are asking this person on CrossFit Games End might be screwing themselves over for playing by the rules. That's never a good thing. This is another instance where it's all CrossFit's fault. Why are they using words that are just abstract? I've only seen something like this one time in my life before, so I felt like it was worth sharing. He hits depth, but on the way up, he can't get up, and he gets out of the way. It goes over his head. I've never really seen it before, just here in one other instance.
Do we start it?
Yeah, fuck it.
So this guy is speaking my language. Movie soundtracks, Batman in particular, he's listening to it. It's getting him all pumped up for the quarterfinals workout. He has it again in the next video. I clicked through a couple of them, and this one gets a little bit wild. Yeah, so while that one looked weird, there was nothing wrong with it. It counts. I had to cut it up so it didn't ruin the video. It taken down off YouTube for using the Batman soundtrack. But here, I was watching. I'm like, cool, these guys are strong. I'm going to watch a good video. Then you realize that throughout the whole video, they never throw up the little card telling them how much weight they use. That is part of the age group qualifier. You've got to list it on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, show it to the camera. And I don't know why. I feel like it just makes CrossFit's job easier on the back end when they're looking at the scores. Here, they look strong still, good work, but this athlete over here is not wearing shoes. It is said right there in the bottom right-hand corner that you have to be wearing shoes during all of your attempts on your lifts. This athlete over here, camera's in the wrong spot. I asked myself, why would this athlete put their camera in the right spot? Look at all the space they have. And then I see, oh, you're trying to pick up some Instagram followers. I got you. This one's a slow burn. What's going on? He's wandering around. The clock's already going. You don't know why the clock's going. There's no other clock there. He's standing right next to the rope to start workout number 3. We know that that's not allowed. Maybe he's going to go somewhere else. Here comes somebody in the film. They're counting. You can't hear it because I got to shut that off. 3, 2, 1, go. That's an invalid workout. At this time, I don't really see much I haven't seen before, but this athlete demonstrates this. That doesn't count, right? He says, no, that doesn't count, man. Sorry. And then you see the push press, the bar goes down before it goes up, and we know that that doesn't count. You can't go down before you go up with the barbell. Here we have one of my favorite videos, athlete in the back. Now he's wearing black. We know black doesn't count. You can't submit videos and you wear black and make things look a little bit sketchy. Athlete on the right, you can see that he's got reps that look sketchy. So the overhead squats on the left didn't look good. The reps on the right didn't look good. Here, we've got cleans on the right where the elbows aren't coming through. The elbows have to come through on the cleans, and those reps don't count. That rep was good. When reps look good, it makes other bad reps look even worse. Athlete on the left. Here we go. Elbows aren't getting through for the athlete on the left. There's a good rep. The good reps make the bad reps look bad. Shirt comes off and the reps look bad again. Tracking back to the athlete on the right. Does a bad pistol. That's a no rep. So he decides to change directions. He faces us. That one did not hit depth. You can tell. That one hit depth. You can tell. He's not aligned with the camera the proper way. It's not in the right spot. It's dead on for that athlete. The athlete on the left is still complete no reps on the cleans. Here we have some unlocked out muscle ups from the athlete who was on the right, who is now on the left. That's a no rep. Another no rep. The athlete on the left does this thing where he just disappears, and all of a sudden, video submission standards, you can't see him the entire time. The athlete has to remain in the camera the whole time. Comes and does some pistols. He's wearing black shorts. He's pretty far away from the camera. All of a sudden, the judge, who might be looking at it through the lens of the camera, can't see anything. These would make the video invalid alone. Brings us to the muscle ups, starts him up. Nope, that's not going to be a rep. No lockout over the top of the rings. Does not show control. Pushes himself away. And then I believe that they get worse as they go on, which they do, and those reps don't count either. No rep on the last one. Athlete here, cleans, look good, elbows are getting through. Too bad she's in a position where you can't really tell and the camera's in the wrong spot. Now we have an athlete doing a back squat. Does not hit depth, however...
You're right at parallel. Right at parallel.
Says you're right at parallel. Then he does a push press, dips below the bar. That doesn't count either. One of my favorite clips from the individual quarterfinals was the one where there was the female during the class and you had no idea the individual way back in the back of the gym was the one doing the workout. Here, we have something similar, not quite as bad, but there's an athlete who's going back and forth in the back of the room. We've got 2 athletes in the way. This would make the video invalid because you can't see what's going on the far side of that shuttle run. What's up, Danny Spiegel? So here we have an athlete who's doing the back squat, and she will hit good depth, but because the camera's in the wrong spot, it should invalidate the video just like that. This one, another slow burn. What's going on? Video started at 11:50. You can see that the video slowly starts panning downwards. It starts panning downwards, and it just sits there. It's going to sit there for about 2 minutes. So for 2 minutes of this video, we just are looking at a box with a weight on it. You hear the athlete say, "Oh, shit.
Sorry, video fell down. 187.
Now, it doesn't matter if the video falls down. If the video falls down and it's sitting down looking at nothing for 2 minutes, it's going to invalidate the video. The whole thing is good for nothing. Now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, I put this on my Instagram story. Here we have an athlete who does a pistol that doesn't appear to be a rep, with an athlete in the background who starts in one of the most interesting positions I've ever seen to start a muscle up. Starts in a bent arm position. That is not allowed. You have to have your arms and shoulders extended at the bottom of the muscle up. Doesn't say anything about the legs, but it does say that your arms have to be extended. You can't start in a bent arm position. Athlete on the left continues to do pistols where it doesn't matter if your heel comes off the ground, but you are not allowed to not get below depth. I don't know about the standing up thing, but it does appear as if he's also putting his foot down before he hits hip extension. Here we have the athlete starting in a false grip. When you start in a false grip, you are also unable to extend your arms as easily. So not only is the athlete not hitting a good lockout position, that one was better, but he's also starting in a position where his elbows are bent up. So these reps are no reps from the get-go of the muscle up because he's not starting in an extended arm position. Athlete on the left is unable to do muscle ups at this point. After all that madness, just some standard no reps where they're not getting below parallel. Hip below parallel is the standard there. The athlete raises their heels as they're going after their press, turning it into kind of a push press, not really a strict press. On this one, they don't have their feet under control as they're pushing up. When they move their feet back, it becomes a no rep. This final athlete here, the bar will descend before it ascends, basically turning it again into a push press. That makes it a no rep as well. The good old handstand push-up. The handstand push-up, which has been through so many ups and downs throughout the years, and in this one, the camera's too low. CrossFit recommends that it's at least 3 feet off the ground so that you can see things like the handstand push-up on the floor. Until the end of the video, the athlete doesn't even show the box. You didn't know if there was one there. And to be honest, it doesn't look like he's going through great enough range of motion that the hands would be narrow enough. But you never really know because you can't see the box as he's doing the handstand push-ups.
What's in the fucking box?
I make these freaking videos so people can learn, and it appears that this guy hasn't seen a single one of them because the rope is not in the camera. That rope is not 15 feet high. How do I know? I know because he didn't measure it, and I also know because I don't think that this guy's the tallest man ever. He's not 7'8". He's not Yao Ming. He's standing there, and he goes from standing to a pull and a half, and a pull and a half to where you can't see where he's touching, and all of a sudden that makes the entire workout invalid because there's no way that that rope is 15 feet high. I can't take it anymore. I can't do anymore. I can't do any more no reps. Age group qualifier. I can't do a single another one. I've been doing this for 10 hours now. 10 hours of editing, 10 hours of no reps. And you know what? I can keep going. I'm sure. Every time I click on there, I click on another video and there's another no rep happening. And a lot of people are telling me it's like, oh, the age group qualifier, it's going to be completely messed up. It's going to be madness. And I go, you know what? No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be better. I think people have been watching the videos. I think people are going to be taking more care in their movement. Their judges are going to be holding everyone to a higher standard. And it does not appear that it happened. It appears that they were right. It's worse than ever. I click on a video. Every other video, something's bad. But with every other video being bad, there was every other video where there was something good. And it was because that there were so many videos where there was something good that it makes me even angrier at the ones that are bad. There were people who were not in the greatest shape doing everything they could to get up a 15-foot rope. And in that video in the last part, that guy's in good shape. He can get up a 15-foot rope. He is rather tall, but that rope being short really pissed me off when there were other people who were trying their fucking hardest to get up the 15-foot rope. And then you got that guy who's just doing a shorter one. And you know what? CrossFit might not even look all the way down to the leaderboard to get that guy in a bad spot. It might affect the people who are trying to get to the freaking semifinals for the age group qualifier. And again, that's what this is all about. I put in the clips of myself at regionals and my team and how we got kicked out of regionals almost essentially because we had to do too many deadlifts. We were being held to a higher standard than other people, and the other people were being looked over, and this is not fair. It's not good. Everyone puts their entire livelihood in this. This is the weekend for some of these people. This is the weekend. They put their entire lives into it. And it's because there aren't enough people like me out there who are trying to hold everyone to a higher standard. There's people out there like, yep, you went to depth, good job. It's like, oh, sure, we won't even measure this rope. They're not going to look at you. I'm just here for fun. Like, whatever. It's not going to mess anything up, and it's going to mess stuff up. It's messing up everything. It's terrible. So if you've gotten this far in the video, if you watched every single thing, if you enjoyed my 10 hours of crap, send this to somebody. Tell them how bad it was. Start spreading the message. We got to get this out to more people. I know that I sold like almost 400 of those $13 t-shirts, and there was a lot of people sending me messages, and I really appreciate it. That's super cool. We want more people holding everyone to a higher standard. You should be the aggressor. Be the angry person out there. If you walk into a gym and you see the gym owner, the affiliate owner not holding reps, holding a high standard, like, you should be getting mad at them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are we doing here if we're not holding everything to a high standard? You're making it hard on the people who want to be held accountable, who are doing everything the way that they should be doing, who are going slower because they not even necessarily going slower, just doing what they're supposed to be doing. I had somebody reach out to me the other day and say, hey, I have this situation at the gym where there is an owner, a co-owner, who isn't doing everything the way they should be. They're shorting the reps. How do I address it? And in my opinion, you want to just go right up to them right away and address these people. Like, get in their face and address them, because then they're caught off guard. They're like, oh my God, I never thought anybody would call me out on this. And the quicker you get into it, the less time that they have to react. If you say, oh, you know what, you should be trying to get a little lower, then they're thinking in their head, what do I do when they confront me hard? They are going to come back at you just as hard with a whole bunch of bullshit. So what you need to do is get up to these people and get in their face, tell them how it is, so that everyone is on a level playing field. And you can't forget that sometimes people don't even know, like, there aren't mirrors in our gyms. There's no mirrors in a CrossFit affiliate. They don't have those. So when they don't have those type of things, maybe they don't even know if they're not going low enough, locking their elbows out, supporting over the rings. Tell them these things so that they know, so that they can get better. Be the key to moving forward in our community. It's what's important. We don't want to be walking into a Globo gym anywhere. We are supposed to be holding ourselves to a higher standard. We want to be more educated. We want to be cooler. We can't let these people look at us and say we look like freaking idiots doing the things that we're doing. Climb to a 15-foot rope, squat below parallel, no quarter squats. That was the big thing when I was in high school. Look at that guy quarter squatting 500 pounds. Doesn't he look like an idiot? Well, that's what it looks like when we're doing overhead squats not all the way down. And if we don't do something about it right now, it's only going to get worse. And in a year or two, this entire thing might just look like an entire circus. Help me not make it look like a circus. That's why I'm doing this. This is why I put 10 to 12 hours into the video by the time it's all said and done. I had Saturday off, so it's nice outside, and I just did this thing all freaking day. I had like 3 of these things. 3. I'm not sponsored by him, but you know what? It's good. It's keeping me going. So if you liked it, share it, like it, comment, send it to your buddies, share it to your profiles, put it on Facebook. Do everything you can with it because I wanted to get 100 million views so that 100 million people start doing reps the right way. Andrew Hiller.